Hey guys, it's Will. So a lot of people ask me, Will, I can see the Apple, I can see the Tesla car on the road, I can see maybe even Starlink up in the sky, the satellites. But what about the companies that you can't really see, but you know are growing as a result of AI, or maybe it's space tech or things like that? We're gonna jump into one here. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Again, I'm in Buenos Aires, guys. Getting ready for an asado with the family. We're going to be here for the next few, and I'm looking forward to sharing with you guys some more vlogs, some more things that are happening there. But again, a ton of people keep asking me, Will, what are the ones we can't see that are growing? This is it. If you want to know, let's jump into it. We analyze stocks with 3 steps, and we call it our MAP strategy. It goes over the markets, the analysis, and the profit potential that we're looking for in a plan that we can build for potentially investing. Now, if you've expected that most stocks would sell off after the recent SpaceX IPO that are in that space market, if you've been expecting more sell-offs because of all of the hype that happened with SpaceX, then you would be right. And looking at the recent red that you see in the space tech market makes a lot of sense. Now, if you were to say to yourself that you're going to wait for a good entry, you're going to wait for the market to start to look more promising in the space tech market, then you would also be wise, because a lot of these companies haven't yet seen reversal start to kick in. So that's what we're going to be covering. It's going to be a stock here. It's going to be BKSY, and it's a space tech company. Now, while it's looking like a company that doesn't have their momentum kicked in yet, they do have that invisible technology that's being used aggressively throughout a lot of government contracts, international space stations, international private contractors, and then also they're being deployed by not just the US, but with partnerships with Rocket Lab as well, which is basically the top competitor with SpaceX for their launching. But again, after that big SpaceX IPO, most of these companies have sold off. They have no indication of a reversal. Now, that also means that you're probably looking at a lot of opportunities right now if you've been seeing a lot of red. Because as you know, if you're smart, you're most likely buying when there's blood in the streets, as Warren Buffett says, and you're looking for opportunities when things are down. And you're probably trying to train yourself to not get too excited when things are super green and when things are red. At least all the investors that I talk with one-on-one, that I work with personally, a lot of them always tell me, like, I'm getting too excited on the green and I'm getting really emotionally turmoiled on the red. I need to reverse that, where I get more excited on the red. I get more opportunistic. The reality is that that's a skill that takes a lot of development when the markets are geared towards your psychology. But nevertheless, as we see this company pull down, the market of the space tech, obviously in the short term, we're seeing a lot of corrections. But in the long term, these companies have really great projections into the next 5 and 10 years. So if you wanted to look at the fastest growing market over the last few years, space tech would be one of them. Now, as we've seen a big correction back down to levels that we haven't seen since March of earlier this year, we're starting to see them pull down to that 200-day moving average. We got a little bit of life, a few green days happening this last week, and we're starting to see a lot of government spending in the space tech, because who's moving in? Well, you got China moving in. If you look at China, looking at their space tech, they're starting to do things similar to the US in actually catching their launches. They're launching AI satellites. They're having some new moments with their launches that are kind of competitive. Now, obviously, the US is not having it. So number one, you got Elon definitely doing a bunch of work in that space, but you also have a lot of investments from the US government. If you were to look at Space Dome spend, I think it's called the Golden Dome, actually, by the US, the amount of money that's being spent, right? We got estimate of $1.2 trillion over the next 20 years. Now, this is just the Congressional Budget Office. This isn't even factoring in the investments from private companies, we're talking Lockheed Martin. It was just 1 year ago today where we were at the Colorado Springs big convention where we got to meet with these companies and meet a lot of them firsthand. And so as I've gotten more in tune with this market, I can tell you, yes, there's trillions that are estimated to be spent from the Golden Dome with the US government, but there's also trillions getting ready to be spent or already being spent by current companies. So what does that mean? Big growth in the financials. Now, what about the actual real world usage? So the market is broken down into financials, but if you don't have real world usage, where does that exist? Number one, we could say you see AMD investing in who? Starlink. And guys, this sunset here in Buenos Aires is unreal. This is the sunset I'm looking at right now. Isn't that something? So beautiful. So real world usage from these companies is pretty heavy. You have Starlink, which is running a tremendous amount of new Wi-Fi for most people across the United States, but also across the entire world as they've grown tremendously. You've got Space Force, so a lot of missile defense being deployed. Golden Dome means it's pretty heavily on weapons, and it's focused on high energy lasers and microwave systems, things like that. But then you also have the commercial activity, right? So commercial activity would be like, what about, RKLB, launching for others, right? This is a really big key. So this market in general, if you look at the real world usage, that's where the market's growing. And I'm going to show you a stock right now that is seeing a lot of real world usage. You can look at that, over $250 billion that they're a part of with Rocket Lab. And then you got global constellation operators, hypersonic testing, medium lift and enterprise expansion. So you have them launching for others, which is a really big moment for them as they continue to grow. And they recently acquired acquisition of Iridium Communications to host, launch, and operate on a massive vertically integrated orbital network. And then you have, a lot of space companies going back to the moon. So just in short, that market's growing fast. Now, secondly, we get into the stock. All right. So BlackSky, this is the stock, not just the market, but the actual analysis. And the analysis is broken down into not two parts like usage and financials. Broken down into three parts. So it's going to be the news, the financials, and then the technicals. So the fundamentals or the news would include the product, would include the usage, as well as what they've got going on from a contract standpoint. So first, let's just start it off with the new deals that they've seen come in. BlackSky is, if you're not familiar with what makes them valuable real world usage wise, they're a company that specializes in these Gen 3 satellites that are able to track high frequency imagery with real-time intelligence of, let's say, ships down on Earth. They also focus on cars down on Earth.
Today's dynamic.
If you look at what they're doing, they're integrating AI to essentially take imagery down on Earth that's extremely high quality like this. They could see an airbase, they could see things for commercial use, and they're able to tell down on Earth, essentially, it could be even things in the ocean, it could be cars, and they have Department of Defense contracts, they've got reconnaissance intelligence office contracts, BlackSky to field mission critical Gen 3 AI solutions. And if you were to look at a lot of their recent deals and some of their investor presentations that they've come across, they are absolutely growing in their revenue, but more importantly, they're seeing real world usage kick in. So from a deal perspective, the main piece here is they're getting these 7- and 8-figure contracts, 30 million here, 25 million there, subscription contracts. And not only that, they also have kind of like an API/pricing. Look at this, tracking all the cars down on Earth with AI intelligence. And so they're working with NASA, they're working with private contractors. You get the gist. So with these deals, what is that kind of translated into number two, which is the financials? Well, the financials have really improved, and we see them start to kick into gear here. Number one, if you were to go look at this latest presentation from about a month ago, in this presentation, of course, this is from their kind of perspective. They've got over 160 million in new contracts. They're projecting their revenue to exceed 100 million with gross margins at 80% for space-based intelligence AI services. They did say, hey, there's global conflicts right now. There's also economic uncertainty, and national security is a big focus right now, which is actually probably going to act in favor of them. So for example, like impact of supply chain means they're going to want to track all of the ports. Companies and governments are going to want to track all of the crops down on Earth. If there's shipping that's happening, if oil's being produced, they can actually see all of that. You can see how much the oil shipments, or not even the shipments, the fields are full, or if they're pumping, if they're moving, they can actually see that. And so global conflict, obviously we have that with the Iran war, a lot of things like that. And that means that they're actually going to see more growth. So they're anticipating to grow more. They do have a pretty large amount of their satellites deployed now. They are having this monitoring every about 5 to 10 minutes. They're seeing imagery that's coming out. And rather than, just relying on, let's say, okay imagery, they're bringing out these really, basically the whole thing is like a camera. And the main purpose of it is that you get these high grade images. And so as a result, what's happened? Well, not only have they got good tracking and good contracts, their financials have improved. So what do their financials look like? Well, we like to use Prophecy here. Prophecy is built by me and our team, and it allows us to automate all of the things we go through, whether it's the market, the real world usage, the financials, and the news, and the insider buying and selling and all that into one place. So a lot of investors are finding this to be extremely useful, and we only have a few more beta spots open. So if you want to be a part of Prophecy, you want to get access, right now you can get it in the third link in the description, as we do have an option for you. What I found in growing our portfolio and being able to find over 10 stocks this year that surpassed over 100% returns was that having a tool like this can really make it easier to stay up to date. And not only does it work here, it works for mobile as well. So if you want to get your hands on it, once again, you can find it in the third link in the description below. Now, again, they got their earnings coming up here on August 5th. They are seeing increased income. Look at that revenue ramping up every single year. And as a result, things are looking good there. Market cap still at 833 million, so under $1 billion. And we've seen them. Let's get into the technicals. Number 3, into the profit plan as well. We've seen them up to $52 a share. They recently pulled down just below this 200-day moving average at around $20 a share. It's possible, again, there's no confirmation that they're breaking out yet. Oftentimes when they're holding bullish, they're going to be above this blue line. See this EMA? That's the bullish momentum. When they're bearish, they're going to be below this blue line a lot of times. And oftentimes, previous support levels can act as a support, of course, but we see them below this blue line. So we're waiting for them to get back bullish above this EMA. Once we get that confirmation, so a little more break above about 24, 25 bucks a share, then we start to see them validate, maybe continue this overall trend with margins of profit to previous resistance levels here at 25, 28. That's an 18% gain, or actually a 30% gain, and then up into $40 to $50. That's about an 80% to 130% gain. Seeing these levels might take it might take a while. We don't have confirmation of the reversal, but generally speaking, this company's been growing very fast, and it would be expected that they continue to keep up their good track record as the demand continues for their technology. So you might not see them up in space, but you know that they're working, you know that they are growing based on their financials, and the demand is there. So I see them as a great space tech company to consider, not necessarily telling you to buy or sell, but I do personally hold them, and I want to share them with you as well, and to just give you a non-biased full breakdown of what the stock is doing. So currently we're looking for more confirmation for if we're going to do a medium term trade as well, or a shorter term trade, to maybe make that move of about 20 to 50%. In the event that the opportunity presents itself, we may do that. And if you'd ever like to see us trade those opportunities, we're there every day, Monday through Friday at market open. It's going to be the second link in the description. We've got an investor community there. We got targets that we come out for the week, and then I'm there. You get a free t-shirt as well. There's a whole community if you want to join on in. It's going to be the second link below to tune on into those live sessions. If I earned your thumbs up, hit the like button. Do consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.